Today I fucked up by drinking flat soda and accidentally probably poisoning myself. First, some background. My partner always leaves a little bit of Coke Zero in his can after drinking it. And this is totally gross, but I love the taste of flat soda. So whenever I clean up the empty cans, I'll take the last swig of whatever is left over. Really disgusting. I get it. Nobody's perfect. This is my flaw. Anywho, this morning I go to do this, as I always do. Come to find out, he had done a water test to test the ammonia, pH, nitrates etc. in our aquarium's salt water the night before. He had dumped the remnants of the test chemicals and salt water into his Coke Zero can, unbeknownst to me. I picked it up this morning and was like, oh man, score, there's a lot left in here, and geared up to slurp it down. Slurp slurp slurp. Yes, I'm a disgusting human. Get over it. Of course, upon initial contact with this horrific concoction, I had realized my grave error. I ended up spitting it out all over the living room, and, not long after, my throat started to tingle. I mean, really tingle. This is when panic set in. I was alone. My dogs just stared at me. This is how I die. I ended up calling poison control to ask them if I was dying, and had to tell them that I had accidentally consumed a mixture of aquarium water testing chemicals and salt water. This is harder to explain than one might think, especially when you think you might be actively dying. At this point my throat is pulsating and I can feel my pulse quickening. I know I am probably imagining these problems, but I can't help it. After asking me several times, wait, you did what? The kind man at Poison Control told me to gargle with vinegar, monitor my symptoms, and to not consume aquarium salt water test chemicals ever again. No shit. Too long didn't read. Today I fucked up by drinking what I thought was leftover flat soda. It was actually a mixture of flat soda, salt water, and aquarium test chemicals. The fear of imminent death ensued. I'm fine, and Poison Control got a kick out of my story. Update, oh, wow. Thanks for the awards. My first gold. All because I'm a dumbass. May my story be a cautionary tale to you all. Don't drink beverages that have been left open and unattended, and don't revel in someone else's backwashed flat soda. As for my boyfriend, yeah, he fucked up, too. At least we learned our lesson with minimal consequences. A fuck up all around. Be careful with chemicals. They ain't playing around. If you think you've drunk something you shouldn't have, call Poison Control immediately, 1-800-222-1222, USA. Edit, a comma for clarification. When I read the first sentence I was expecting this post to be about accidentally drinking tobacco spit at the bottom of a can, thinking it was gonna be soda. Maybe in the future you should just prepare flat soda yourself. Maybe open one a while before you want to drink it. Perhaps leave it in a safe place like your room, or the back of the fridge if you like it cold. Kind of like meal prepping. I can dig it. It's safer this way. A vetted process, if you will. I watched someone drink chew spit trying to finish the little bit of beer left in cans at a party. Where I live, parents and grandparents spit into soda cans and the youngins learn not to drink until after a smell test, lol. PSA: don't put any chemicals into containers that are not clearly labeled. It's a very easy mistake to make, and one which can be fatal. Putting non-potable anything into a container that looks like it holds potable things is extremely dangerous. Looking at you, the asshole who designed Fabuloso's packaging. Today I fucked up by calling my wife ugly for months. My wife is great, let me start off with that. I am really shocked I ended up married to her. Everybody that knows me never lets me forget how lucky I am. She is like a master at being functional, whereas I'm not. When we do household chores together, she gets this beatific expression of contentment. It's adorable. About 3 months ago, we were both in the yard. I was mowing and she was gardening. We live in WA state. It is warmish here in the winter. I couldn't help but notice how wonderful she looked. I stopped mowing, went over to her, and said something like, "I love you so much, you look so homely." Seemed fine. A week or so later, I said it again. "You are the most homely person I've ever met." She didn't seem to respond as expected. I just figured she was down. See, I thought homely was like some adorable Snow White type shit. Homes are cozy and make you feel safe, right? Here was my wife, going around the house, dusting and playing with the cat, saying hello to houseplants, and doing it in a way that gave me cozy, or what I thought were homely feelings. I kept calling her homely for another month or so. I could feel some distance between us but couldn't source it. Then it happened. I got home from work, and went to give my, now sad and confused, wife a hug. "My God, you are just so homely." She pushed me away, looked me right in the eyes, and said, "I don't think you know what that means. You've been saying it for months, and I really think you have no idea." So I looked it up, and found that, at least in America, no, homely doesn't mean cute, or cozy. It means ugly or unattractive. I thought I was complimenting my wife whenever I called her homely, when I was really just killing her soul a little bit at a time. That unfortunate misunderstanding fixed. We are now doing fine. Too long didn't read. I thought homely meant cute, and ended up calling my wife homely for months. Found out that it means ugly. We both died inside. Edit, to those who wonder why she took so long to tell me, all I can say is that I wondered the same thing. My wife is extremely chill, that's part of what I love about her. What she told me was your body language didn't match up with the word. Every time I called her homely, I projected an otherwise kind and loving presence. I think that dissonance really weirded her out. She's always struggled with assertiveness, that, her general chillness, and my strange demeanor was apparently a perfect storm that led to repression. Edit number 2, we live in Western Washington, which is quite warm in the winter compared to the upper Midwest where I grew up. As long as the grass is green, it's warm to me. Reminds me of last week, talking to my boss on the phone about a new marketing strategy. I was fired up and excited, and said customers. You'll have to beat them off. I forgot the with a stick part of the metaphor. As soon as it left my mouth I realized my mistake, but didn't apologize because I was hoping he didn't notice. He went really quiet and said, Don't ever say that again. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy homely. The funniest misuse of a word I ever heard was my mother. She was talking about her best friend. I just love her. She's the best friend I ever had. She's my snatch. She had seen the word on the internet, and though it meant bestie, we, her daughters, have never allowed her to live this down. I once thought thunder thighs was a compliment, like damn those are some sexy thick thighs. That's what I thought it was. Wife informed me I was very wrong. I apologized and then realized I now don't have words to express my appreciation of her sexy legs, so I just got on my knees and hugged them instead. That's a good start. If it makes you feel better, my so tried to tell me that I was bo today I fucked up and intelligent once. However, ADHD brain kicked in and what he actually said was, you know how some women are just bo today I fucked up and some are just intelligent? Well, you're neither, D. As soon as the words left his mouth his brain cells kicked in and he spent the next 20 minutes trying to correct himself by shoving the entirety of his foot in his mouth. Edit, I should add that we had only been dating for a few months at this point, and between me violently laughing and doubled over with side stitches trying to catch my breath, he yelled at me to shut up for like 5 seconds. I'm trying to tell you that I love you, not that you're ugly. That was the first time he had ever told me he loved me, and apparently he had this long thoughtful speech planned about all the ways he thought I was special and amazing to him. Instead I got called ugly and dumb. To his credit, he just got done a double clopen at work and was in the middle of his senior thesis. Today I fucked up by googling the average dick size in front of my girlfriend. Obligatory. This happened about a month ago. Me and my girlfriend were sitting around bored during quarantine playing Sporkle quizzes on the computer when somehow the question of what the average dick size is came up. Since we were sitting at a computer, I was like, well, why not look it up? This was my first mistake. I pulled up this article that had a nice looking bell curve and you can look at the percentiles and whatnot. The average was around 5 inches or so, like yours truly. Then as she was looking she said, I wonder where 9 inches falls on this graph. At this moment, the gears started turning in my head. It's an oddly specific length to ask about. I ask her, why did you ask about 9 inches in particular? My second mistake. And then she casually mentioned that she had a couple of exes that were 9 inches. A couple? That's about as likely as dating 2 guys that are taller than 6 feet 10 inches. For perspective, 3 inches was 95th percentile, 7 inches was 98th or something, so 9 is literally off the charts. Needless to say, I became super insecure, and for the next few days we'd be in the middle of sexy time and all of a sudden the image of her getting dicked down by a monstrous 9-inch cock twice my size would pop in my head, killing my mood. Like there's no way I can measure up. Now a month later, I'm mostly over it, but every once in a while the image pops in my head again and I think back to the moment where I wrote my own death sentence by asking questions I didn't want to know the answer to. Too long didn't read. Today I fucked up by looking up average dick size, asking too many questions, and finding out all my GF sexes are bigger than me by a lot. It's only 6 inches but it smells like a foot. I have an ex who always said I was the smallest she'd ever had. Would say all the other dudes were 10 plus. It was a shit relationship and I realize she said those things to keep me down. Why would she ever say that? Yeah, I would keep in mind that 9 inches is probably the go-to dick exaggeration. People tend whip out their dicks in the dark, and not every vagina is a precision measurement device. Wait. Did you tell her how you felt? No, just the rest of the world. I mean, honestly, she probably was going off of what those guys said, and we know that guys aren't the best at being realistic with their dick sizes. Dudes measure their dicks incorrectly all the time, and it's fairly easy to manipulate how you're measuring to get the biggest number, and then people round up or straight up exaggerate. Everyone has a 12 dick on Snapchat. All of this is void if she had pictures of her accurately measuring each 9 penis. If this is the case, please post the evidence. If she has pictures of both her ex's penises being measured, I'd say Op has other problems than proving to people online that his girlfriend's exes have big penises.